Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. Nice to have you with us on this Monday, the 20th day of August, the year 2018. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Thank you. As always, coming to you live and at you from the busy streets, which is Brooklyn, New York. And today I am inside this podcast studio in downtown Brooklyn, which is Brick Media House, as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. Well, we have a lot going. I have a lot to discuss with you. We got the NFL, we got baseball, you name it. Sorry, I can't get into the SummerSlam because I didn't watch SummerSlam yesterday. I was full aware that it was in the Barclays Center, right across the street, not too far from here. And I kind of figured it did a lot, it was a sold out show and stuff like that. But it really didn't do much at the Garden. Hopefully, it did a lot at the Garden. Just want to throw that out there. But nonetheless, it's great to have you aboard. We have plenty to do today. We have college football to discuss. We got a little college football to discuss, a little taste because the football season is just around the corner. We got the NFL to discuss. But we'll start off with the baseball as the Yankees we got a 3-game sweep over the Toronto Blue Jays as a pretty good weekend, but not so much because their injury woes continue for the Yankees as Didi Gregorius we don't know what the status, what his leg injury is after that collision with Kenny Morales yesterday at Yankee Stadium. So we don't know what the status is right now, as far as we know as we speak. But so it's not as severe as Aaron Judge. And excuse me. Staying with the Yankees right now, if the Yankees gonna capture that wild card, which I believe they will, they need Judge and Didi Gregorius and they need especially Didi Gregorius, who is their best hitter out of their whole lineup. They're gonna need those guys to step up in a big way, because if you're a Yankee fan, even though you swept the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday, you cannot be satisfied and cannot be pleased lately how well they've been playing. Okay, first of all in the stadium losing two out of three to the Tampa Bay Rays, a team you should beat. And I know the Tampa Bay Rays are 1 game or 2 games or wherever it might be over 500. Fair enough. Okay, I get that. I understand the Rays are a mediocre team, but teams like that, when you're a playoff team, you're supposed to beat, and a team like the Toronto Blue Jays, you're supposed to beat. I understand that. Haven't said all that. You should be having 10 or 11 game winning streaks, and to get back into the division, because right now, Francesa. Everybody and their mama knows catching the Red Sox is delusional. There's no point. This is not 1978 where the Yankees were 8.5 back, and they came back and the Yankees and the Red Sox played for that famous wild card game. And we all know what happened, so we don't need to get on. We don't need to get on that. Haven't said all that. What the Yankees need to do is focus on getting that wild card, secure it, because that AL West is that AL West pennant race has gotten hotter, a lot hotter. The A's are coming. The Mariners are coming, even though they're three. They look like they are three. They are at a game, 2.5 games back. The Astros are struggling. The Astros look like they're going to be in a dogfight against Oakland. But luckily, they won their game yesterday. They won their game yesterday because otherwise, the A's would have been in first place right now. And this is not the first time these Oakland Athletics, even though the team is different. Even though it's a different team back then in 2014, they have done this before. They have done this before, and we have seen collapses before when a team have a big lead. May I remind you, 2007, and I just mentioned 1978. May I mention the same 2007, the same with 2014. Not too long ago, when the Oakland Athletics came all the way back and win the division the final week of the final day of the regular season to sweep the Texas Rangers. To sweep the Texas Rangers. Okay? So it happens before. But back to the Yankees. If you're the Yankees, you want to secure that spot. You want to secure it. You do not, and I repeat, you don't want Oakland or Seattle or Houston to give you that extra hair on your back. You want to secure it as possible and get the load off your back so you can be ready for the postseason. The Yankees, even though I think for the most part they're going to be fine, but they have to play. We in all fairness to say, they have to do a lot better job playing lately and getting ready for the most part for the postseason, because that's where we are right now. And at this point, forget about the Mets. Yes, they split with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Mets are not in a pennant race. They just have to look to, for the most part, they're going to have to look. Do I really need to hear from Yankee fans what the Mets need to do? I heard left and right what the Yankees and the Mets, what the Yankees need to do, and I don't need to hear from the Mets fan either what the Yankees need to do, okay, or what the Yankees need to do from here on out. I understand this is New York and I get it, but Yankee fans, just worry about your team, please. And Mets fans, worry about your fans. Worry about your team. Okay, can we do that? I understand you guys have a job. I understand I have a job to do, and I'm not really knocking them. I really am, because I'm talking about for the most part. Just don't beat down on the Mets, please. The Mets been beaten down long enough. They're embarrassing long enough. We don't need to go we don't need to go that route this year. Maybe next year. Next year you could do that when the Subway Series come and this and that and the third. You could throw Yankee shirts and take over Citi Field and McFadden's whenever you want. Do that. But until then, please, just focus on getting to the playoffs, because at this point they are not catching. We all know the Yankees are not catching the Red Sox. I'm sorry, it's not happening. The Red Sox are not losing anytime soon. They're really not. They have too much They have too much depth, as I told you before. The Yankees, if the Yankees would have really want to catch the Red Sox, they should have swept. It should have been the other way. The Yankees should have swept Boston, not the other way around. Because the Red Sox now, they can't lose. They really can't lose. I don't know how their series went with the Philadelphia Phillies, but I do know this: they're not losing anytime soon. They're really not. So you could take that to the bank. Just move on, and capture that wild card, and probably get 100 wins. That's it. Now, I gotta touch on a couple of things, especially with the Ronald Acuna Jr. incident. I'll touch on that in a minute. And what Keith Hernandez says, and what's his response, his response. I'll get to it for a second. Now, this past weekend, the Yankees celebrated the 1998 World Series when they had the best weekend. They won 125 wins. They won the World Series that year, and by far the best team in all of baseball. And that's the last time I could think of the team with the best overall record, the best overall team to win the whole thing. If I'm not mistaken, no other team have won with that caliber team since in baseball, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Derek Jeter. He gave his video tribute. But how you not have Derek Jeter even fly to the stadium to remember probably one of the best seasons in modern Yankee history? How do you not have that? That is really mind-boggling to me. It really is. How do you not have it? Really kind of. It's really pretty tough. I don't know how you not have Derek Jeter in that juncture. I don't know how you don't have that if you're a Yankee fan. I really don't. It really blows my mind how the Yankees don't have a private jet or whatever the case, private jet to fly Derek Jeter. I know he's the owner of the Marlins. I get it, but just have him fly to the stadium, just for a little bit. You know, you had his retirement ceremony. I get it, last year, but it really was kind of tough to watch. It really was. I don't know how you don't have. And he was the focal point. He was the main focal point of why the Yankees won that World Series. Well, of course, you got Bernie Williams. Scott Brosius is going to be there because he's the one of the third base coach or whatever coach of the Seattle Mariners. But Scott Brosius, Shane Duque, who by far, in my opinion, one of the best starting pitchers in that team. And may God rest his soul. I didn't know Hideki Irabu. I did not know this. I did not realize this until I saw the video. I did not know Hideki Irabu died. I did not know that at all. I did not know that he died because I didn't really think about him that much, to be honest with you.